The most common reason for kids to have hearing loss after birth is otitis media, ear infections. You can have an ear infection with infectious material, or you can have what we call fluid. It's fluid behind the eardrum, but it's not infectious. So the child can go around with fluid behind their eardrum for weeks or even months at a time and not really complain to anybody because they're not feeling any pain. If you can imagine trying to listen underwater, when you're in a swimming pool and you hear somebody talking, that's what it sounds like to a kid that's got fluid behind their eardrum. They can hear, they're not deaf, but it's muted. If you feel like your child has a problem with hearing, you don't want to just have an audiology appointment, but you want to have an ENT, an ear, nose, and throat appointment right afterwards too. Because if I find something wrong with your child's hearing, if it's something that needs to be treated, you're going to want it to be treated right away, especially if it's an ear infection. If a child has chronic ear infections and they continue to have those and you don't get it treated, then they can develop permanent hearing loss from that, because that infection can go to other portions of the anatomy of the ear and cause harm there, cause damage there. So you don't want to play around with ear infections with your child. One of the ways you can maybe identify if your child is having trouble hearing is listen to their speech. If you have a child that's in the process of learning to speech and they have articulation errors, they don't pronounce words right or correctly, it could be because they've got fluid behind their eardrum. That's something you want to check out. It may not always be just a speech problem, it could be a hearing problem. Signs to look for if in children, kind of depends on the age, but for most kids, if they're sitting right up next to the television, or they turn it up louder than everybody else and they say they like it that way and they want it that way. If you call your child and they don't turn to your call, when your other kids do, but they don't, that's a problem. Articulation errors in their speech, they don't pronounce things the same way your other kids do. Those are all signs that something could be wrong with your child, with their hearing. Another thing could be performance in school. If the teacher suddenly comes to you and says, Susie, they're just not paying any attention. I call on them, they don't know what we're talking about. I really think that you need to talk to your child because they're becoming a behavior problem. Well, sometimes those behavior problems are not behavior. It's because they really don't know what's going on. They really didn't hear what the teacher said to do. They really are kind of off a little bit with all the other kids. So that's a good thing to look at.